may be sad, but so is everything that's true. Well, if life's a gamble, then I bet the table.
All right. That's Benjamin Todd. From Lost Dog Street Band, but this song is on a YouTube channel called Western AF. It's a really good channel. Check it out. You can see some more of Benjamin's music on there. Also has a lot of other music that you could definitely say has come from a certain way of life. So my name's Cloudy. I go by Cloudy the Immortal, but everybody just calls me Cloudy. I added the immortal part later on. But I got the name in San Francisco about 15 years ago. Yeah, close to 15 years ago. It was 2009, so it's almost 2003 now, so 14 years ago. We won't get into the name of why I got that name, but let's just say that was what my name was. But you know, this music and Benjamin, he lived this lifestyle for a while. There's other artists that I will use in these videos, and of course we'll shout them out and let you guys know what channel they're on and you know what bands they're affiliated with, because a lot of these musicians have lived this lifestyle too, and their music reflects the culture and the lifestyle of our kind. So it's important, I believe, that our lifestyle, culture, ways, and just everything that we've done should be documented, because it is a culture that is disappearing, and if it's not recorded and documented in art, music, literature, and things like that, then it's going to disappear. You know, hobos have been around as long as freight trains have been around, but nomadic people have been around since the beginning of time. A lot of people would say that people are actually more accustomed to be nomadic than to stay in one place. There's a lot of evidence to support that, but a lot of like the nomadic tribes have died off. One, because of like civilization. You know, you can't freely go just wherever you want to. Neither could you in the past, but it was different in the past, whereas today. But yet there are true nomads who still exist. And the point of these videos and this YouTube channel will be not only to interview some of these nomads who are currently living this lifestyle. I may also interview people who have lived this lifestyle for a long time and got out of it. I've been doing this since like 2007, so it's about the beginning of 2007. And I really didn't stay anywhere for more than 2 months. But I'm gonna say from 2009, because before that I didn't travel as fast. One reason was because I didn't know how. It took a while to like learn things, because there's a lot that goes into it. Even though I guess I would be considered a veteran of the road, there's still so much things that the road can teach you. The road doesn't end. You don't go and just learn everything. The road is a path that you keep going on, and it's about growing and seeing things and going somewhere than where you were before. And that can mean not only like physically like where you were and going somewhere different and experiencing different things, but even you as a person. Like when I really hit the road, and I want to say I really hit the road in 2009, 2008, somewhere. I don't really remember the exact date. Could have been 2008. Probably was 2008. I know I met a lot of people in San Francisco in 2009, and I didn't get my dog till 2010, I believe. But she was born in December, so it changed. Because she was born in December, so year change. That was a big time thing for me. And traveling with a dog, which I'd never had a dog before. Like, I'd had a dog as a kid, but I'd never been an adult and had a dog. Whereas, like, having to care for somebody other than yourself. So she taught me a lot about responsibility, caring for somebody else, putting somebody else instead of yourself first, thinking about others. There's so many things that she taught me I would have never learned if I wouldn't have not got her here in this city, actually. Almost 13 years ago, her birthday's coming up. She passed away last Halloween, on Halloween night, so it's been a little over a year. I have another dog. She's over there, laying down in her bed and watching me when I say another dog, because she knows I'm talking about her. And I was kind of sad because my other dog, who's been with me the whole time, I got her 4 years later, about 4.5 years later. Me and my first dog, Berkeley, we went through a lot of stuff together, that we just really had this bond. And I love this dog, and we're bonded and everything, but Berkeley was my baby. Probably should have aborted her. Berkeley's my baby, I want him. So I don't listen to a lot of punk music, but that's apparently an old Brat song. And it's talking about, Berkeley's my baby, and I should have aborted her. So all my punk friends always would say that about her, because her name's Berkeley. I didn't name her. I was hitchhiking, and it was my first time in San Francisco. I think it was actually my second time. I had been here once before and left, and I think went back up north and then came back down again. And when I came down that second time, that's when I got her, and I adopted her on the Haight-Ashbury. I would say that's really when my travels began. Now, I had hitchhiked across country and rode buses and been in different towns and slept outside and been homeless and that kind of things. But it wasn't really I wasn't living a nomadic lifestyle. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it properly. I had to learn. So when I started hitching down the coast from Seattle to, I went all the way to San Diego, but people go out to the West Coast because they want to hitchhike, or they want to do the Pacific Crest Trail, or back in the day it was to go get a trim job on a weed farm. This is back before it was legal, like to grow weed and sell weed and all that stuff. So that's what you could do to make a little bit of money or something like that. There's all kinds of stuff you could do. There's foraging mushrooms out on the West Coast, around Fort Bragg area, Mendocino, parts of Humboldt. You can go up into Oregon, southern Oregon, on the coast of Oregon. You can go out towards Klamath Falls. You can go up towards Eugene, pick all around there, and you can get those mushrooms. And there's different ways you can sell them. You can actually carry them to the restaurants yourself, or you can sell them to local buyers. So you can go pick them every day and then just sell them to local buyers. So there's all different types of ways you can make money. If you have an instrument, you can always stop somewhere in a city. You can play your instrument. You can panhandle. You can sit outside of 7-Eleven, and when people walk out the door, you can say, hey man, can you help me out with a little bit of change? Now, I want to stress this point, but I don't want to stress it too much. There's a difference between just your everyday homeless person and a traveler. Now, when we say traveler, we're describing a certain group of travelers. We don't just mean anybody who travels. Anybody who travels, a lot is a traveler, right? We don't mean it in that sense. When we say traveler, we mean it as a specific type of person who does things kind of a certain different way, a certain way. Now, we're not all the same, but in a lot of respects, we are the same. And we were most commonly grouped together, and we were called travelers. MTV did make us special in like 2006, 2007, I think. Somewhere around there. It could have been earlier. It could have been like 2002, 2003. Pretty sure you can look it up on YouTube. I think it's called The Travelers, and we talk about like hitchhiking and train hoppers and using drugs, but it didn't ever tell like really like what we were like. It was a very shitty look at us. Now, you can look up here on YouTube and you can find some train rider videos. You can see some people riding trains and, you know, they're talking about it and whatnot. Yeah, okay, cool. But they're not really telling you, they ain't really showing anything about, most of the people that make those videos don't live our life. They don't hang out with us. Now, there are little like small pocket groups who don't really hang out with all the rest of us, but they're just kind of out there and being loud and talking stuff, and we don't really care about none of that. So there are different sects and masses of this group, but for the most part, it's just travelers. Okay, you might get some idiots. You might get some people who think they have say or regulate or do anything like that on the rails. They don't. Ain't nobody out here regulating shit. Like, and it's been like that ever since I've been doing it. And I've been doing it for 15 years, and can't nobody ever have told me shit. Not to say there isn't a certain amount of respect and a way to do things, because if you're around the wrong people and you're doing stupid stuff and you're acting ass, you will be put in check. It is a community that will police its own, and if need be, take care of problems that arise. Unfortunately, over the years, it doesn't really work like that anymore. It got popularized, and it started growing, and it started multiplying, and it would get on social media, and now we got people all over TikTok, and we got people fucking on social media constantly posting shit. We got 11, 12 kids. We call everybody kids. Don't matter how old you are, you're still a kid. We got 12 kids and their dogs and a cat and a pig getting pulled off a train down by Houston. We got kids falling off of trains and dying for doing stupid shit or being too fucked up and trying to climb in between cars or climb up and down cars so they can make videos for social media. We've got other kids who didn't travel at all and aren't kids anyway, like actual kids that, you know, like 16, 17, 18, now young motherfuckers that saw it on social media and wanted to try it and get killed. And you have just random people who, for some odd reason, decided to do it and, you know, may have got hurt. Several of my first times I did it, I didn't know what I was doing. I just did it to do it, and it like totally went the wrong way one time. The first time I ever did it was actually the first time I'd ever hitchhiked as well. So me and a buddy of mine, and the only thing we knew about is that we had met a train hopper once, and he smoked a joint with us from California, and he had tattoos all over him and long hair and like clothes similar to mine, and we just thought he was cool as shit. Anyway, we was playing on the train that had stopped because they sighted out close to where I grew up at, and we stayed on it until it started moving, and it didn't stop moving until about 80 miles away. And then we had to get off of that train, and we had to get a ride back on the same day, and we did, and we made it back. That was my first experience riding trains and hitchhiking. And that, we were young. We could not have been 14, 15. We were young. Maybe, you know, he might have been like 13. I could have been like 14. I remember where the train stopped at, it was like on the outside of Pine Bluff, or maybe that little town right before Pine Bluff. I can't think what it's called, Whitehall maybe. But we got off and it slowed down a good bit, and we just jumped off. Like, we didn't have no backpacks or dogs. You know, we were just literally just kids, just running around playing. And we always hang out by the trestle, railroad tracks, and we're this small kind of was a lumber yard, I believe, at one point in time. I don't think it was when we were playing there. I think this was probably back in the 80s. It was a lumber yard. And we went to the gas station, got somebody to buy us a pack of cigarettes, and gave us a ride back, all the way back to our town in one day. It was like dark when we got back, and like we got in trouble for like being out late, but nobody ever fucking knew. That kind of put a spark in me, though. There's other things like books and literature that I read just about different cities. Didn't have really anything to do with traveling. It just had to do with the descriptions in cities and what they looked like, and just places I thought were cool. Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, New Orleans. I always wanted to go back to Tampa Bay because I went there when I was young with my brother, and it's just a cool place, and I wanted to go back. So that was one of the places I went and visited as well. And I went back many times, especially during the winter. Tampa was a nice place to go. But, so before we get too much longer, that's what this whole YouTube is going to be about. I'm going to have a series interviewing different travelers and let them tell their story, why they started doing it, what they're doing, and pretty much just whatever they want to tell, I'll have some questions to ask them. In those videos, I'll give, if they want, their name, their PayPal or Cash App or whatever. So if you watch the video and you like them, throw them a little bit of money, help them out, while they're traveling on the road. If they want to put up an Amazon wish list, whatever, when you ship it to my house, or, if you want to buy them something, I can probably work out to get it to them or whatnot. I had to settle down. I'm a veteran, so I had a little help with getting housing, and I came to San Francisco and I actually came to pay respects to my dog that passed away out in Berkeley. She was born in People's Park, and I wanted to get an accordion, and I ended up getting one there. And then I wanted to come to San Francisco to play my accordion on like Powell and by the BART Station Market and out at the wharf, and things just worked out. I ended up getting put up in a hotel, and we're making decent money, and started door dashing, doing Insta work and whatnot, and like there's a lot of money to be made here in San Francisco, and I just got really stable, and then I was able to start focusing on my writing and my music and start working on this YouTube. So my books are pretty important to me, and I'm working on 3 different books right now, which I will talk about on this channel, and I will give you the links to them when I'm publishing them, how you can buy those books and everything. One of them is basically a made-up story about train riding and whatnot, but it involves vampires. So if you can imagine, train-hopping vampires. I'll probably read some excerpts from you guys very soon. I'm going to let a lot of stuff upload tonight. Another book is just a fantasy series I've been working on since I was like 14 years old. And I have enough content right now for like 3 books, but I have 1 book wrote, and I have to go back and rewrite it because I wrote it a long time ago. So I got to work out a lot of kinks and stuff, working on that. And another one is just basically a simple how-to video if you ever end up homeless and you don't know what the fuck to do. Because when I was first homeless, and I remember some of the first nights that I never had somewhere to go and where I had to go sleep, I picked some of the worst places ever, and I made some of the dumbest decisions when I look back at it. Now I know differently. I'm like, wow, I could have made this work to my situation, but I didn't know the skills and the trades and the things that I know today to make that work. I can go to any town in the United States with nothing. I can come up, get what I need, me a backpack, a tent, it's clothes, whatever. I know how to find work. I know how to find odd jobs. I know how to find resources, anything I need to get up on my feet. I know how to use those to get up and just totally take off and build something from nothing. So I'm going to share with people how to use those tools and how to find resources to be able to come up from basically nothing and build something for yourself. I've done this on multiple occasions. I've done it in Louisiana when I started really learning how to cut trees. And that's one of the things I'm doing here is I'm studying for my arborist license, so I can be a licensed arborist and I can bid my own jobs and, you know, have insurance and a legit business. So yeah, if you're out on the West Coast and Southern Oregon, and if you're around the Bay Area and you need a tree cut down when I get licensed, I'm your guy. I'm a good worker. I'm a safe worker. I don't take dangerous jobs because, I'll be honest, I'm not the most experienced, but I know what I can do and I know what I can't do, and I'm not going to risk doing something I can't do. When I do get licensed, I will be insured, bonded, and all that. So I'm trying to do everything legit. So if you want to make donations to that to help with tools and whatnot, I'm totally starting over. I did have land about 2 years ago in Nevada. I was building it up pretty good, and it got robbed twice. And actually, the one time I think somebody went through and they just didn't take anything. Second time they took it, pretty much everything: battery, solar, tools. I had a bunch of random stuff there: computer parts, Bluetooth speaker, batteries, so many batteries, inverters, wires, power cords. They never took my big generator. I had a 4,500 watt generator sitting in the middle of my property. Never took it. Took my 2 little generators. It took a broken generator, you know. I had 3 campers. I had a Toyota RV. So that was like what I showed up in when I left Louisiana. Bought a car, traded it for an RV. Just working to build something, and then coronavirus hit, and that messed a lot of things up. And I ended up just getting land in Nevada because I got a really good deal on it. Started building up there. Long story short, didn't like it. Wasn't a solid place. The area was nice, but it just wasn't working. So pretty much sold everything except the one car I had and took off again. And was doing all right. Mental health and issues and whatnot, and some health issues started getting really bad. And then my dog died, and car problems, and ended up hitching south. And magically, I've signed a lease about a year ago, and I'm getting ready to move into a new apartment here pretty soon. So I've been able to focus on my books, and that's why I'm starting this up. And I hope to get a good bit of this over the next month and holidays. I'm going to be putting a lot of work into this YouTube. So I'm seeing we're getting up to about 25 minutes here. So how I'm going to do this is I'll probably break this video down into like 3 portions. I have editing software, I have a computer I built. I got me a little setup. I got my stuff on boxes still because when you buy furniture here, you have to buy everything new. You can't get used stuff and bring it in here. It's stupid, but so I just use boxes till then. In the furniture that was in here, so I'm not gonna buy stuff knowing that I was gonna move a year later. You know, it doesn't make sense. So, but I'm moving to the San Mateo, San Bruno area, and I'm looking for an apartment that I will stay in that apartment for probably up to 5 years or so. I have like a 5-year plan about what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna leave the country, and I plan on going to South America. I'm gonna ride freight trains through Mexico. I'm gonna take a barge over to South America. I'm gonna travel a lot of different places in South America, and after I get done traveling there, I'm probably gonna come back to the States, chill for a little while, and then I'd like to go over to Europe and do some traveling, especially around the Mediterranean, up around Scotland, Ireland. There's a lot of places I want to go. Even parts in Africa, Australia. So that's everything I'm working towards. So since this is the beginning of my YouTube videos, and I mean, you guys are going to get to see all this develop. I've had this account open for, actually I may have deleted my old account and just started a new one, but I had another account under the same name and I only had 1 video on there, and it was an old like comedy video I made about train riding from like 2012 or 2013. It was hilarious. It was pretty popular in our community. When people saw it, it was just super funny. Now if I showed you the video, you probably had no clue what I'm talking about. but it's still funny because you can. There's a funny part in it, and I don't want to spoil it, but I've got it stored, and I'll get it out. I'm in the process of getting a lot of videos off of social media and pictures that I've had over the years, because I've always used that as a way to store pictures and stuff. But I don't want to do social media anymore, so I'm taking all my stuff off of there, putting it in jump drives into an extra hard drive, and like in cloud storage and things of that nature, so I can back up everything. And a lot of those videos, I'll be telling stories about my own adventures on here. A lot of that will be pictures and videos from over the past 15 years. So I've got a lot of footage to share, as well as footage, and stories from other people. And I'll introduce you guys to other travelers, and you can hear their stories too. But, we're gonna have this page as a way to document and record our way of life and our culture that's disappearing. I would like to give a shout out to Michael Joseph Photography. He has probably more accurately described and caught the essence of our lifestyle. For the past 10 or 15 years, he's been doing this. He's a photographer who takes black and white portraits of single or sometimes a couple and their dog, different pictures of travelers, and their look, and a brief description of them and their story, something that they said. So my work is definitely inspired by him, and if you have a chance, I'm not sure what all platforms he's on. I know that he is on Instagram, but check him out, Michael Joseph Photography. And he has had these works presented in, I don't know the art places or wherever, but I know he's been places and had people know about his work, and it's super good work. So I'm really hoping to have anything as good as his stuff, and that would be a good look. If you guys are interested in seeing some pictures and whatnot and reading some stories, I would really recommend going to him. Once again, Michael Joseph Photography. Mine are going to be more in-depth interviews, and you'll get to see the person in high definition. And I'm gonna let them talk as long as they want to. I've got all the equipment I need I can sit there and record all day if I wanted to. So even if I have to go down to somewhere, Starbucks that's got super fast Wi-Fi, and upload these things and drink coffee for an hour, or sit outside and smoke pot for an hour, I'll do that. But I'm gonna have a lot of stuff coming, so stay tuned. I'm gonna get this edited and break it down into, we're gonna be 30 minutes. We're gonna break it down in 10-minute clips, so you guys can have a full idea of what's going on here, and I can write some good descriptions and put links to the music, Michael Joseph Photography, my email, and other things of that nature. And I look forward to seeing all you guys and showing you guys our world, because you're not going to see this anywhere else. This has never been shown, and it's never been done like this ever. No, you're never going to see this anywhere else. The only thing even similar, remotely close, is Michael Joseph Photography, and that's the best look you're ever going to get right there. Hopefully mine can, get up there and be on the level of awesomeness that his is, but I don't really have a lot of background in influence in this type of stuff. I'm just, it was just my life for a long time, and it still is, but I've got health issues and other things that I can't physically travel. So I don't want to stop. I have to. And things worked out to where I have a place now, and I'm taken care of, and I'm financially secure, that I can kind of live comfortably and do this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna look forward to it. Peace.